What if Nezuko died after being exposed to the sun? What if Nezuko wasn't immune to the sun at the end of the Swordsmith Village Arc? What would be Tanjiro's reaction, and how would this affect the story? Would all hell break loose as you-know-who loses control? Well, after searching far and wide, we have the answers, and this is what would happen if Nezuko died after being exposed to the sun. And remember, there are massive spoilers, so look out. Starting off, everything would play out similarly to the original timeline. Nezuko and Tanjiro would go on to find a cure and get revenge for the death of their family. They would meet Inosuke, Zenitsu, and the other demon slayers and win every fight that is until the Swordsmith Village Arc, or the end of Season 4 in the anime. But why is that? Well, because this time, instead of Nezuko being immune to the sun, she completely disintegrated and died like any other demon when exposed to the sun, leaving Tanjiro broken. Not only that, but this also means that Muzan will never start his plan of capturing and absorbing Nezuko to gain her sunlight immunity and become the ultimate being. So what happens next? Well, after seeing Nezuko die, Tanjiro would most likely become heartless, as he now has an insane thirst for revenge against Muzan, because he has lost everything, or he would just become an empty shell and just give up entirely. But for the sake of the story, what if Tanjiro became revenge-hungry? Well, a lot of interesting things will certainly happen, and the entire plot moving forward will have some crazy changes, so stick around to find out. Going back to the story, Tanjiro, now filled with overflowing rage, decides to go to Muzan himself, but luckily, Mitsuri and Muichiro manage to restrain him and bring him back to the Butterfly Mansion to get healed. But what about Muzan now that he no longer has the ultimate goal he had in the original series? Well, Muzan would just be glad that he finally gave Tanjiro a taste of his own medicine. As for his goal, he would continue to search for the blue spider lily. Other than that, Tamayo won't also have the opportunity to experiment on Nezuko to find out why she conquered the sun. Now that Nezuko is gone and Tanjiro healed up, how would the story play out? Well, the Demon Slayers would prepare for the inevitable all-out battle and start the Hashira training arc. As per usual, Tanjiro would succeed in every type of training he's given. Only this time he becomes cold, and anyone who makes him angry might get his signature headbutt. But things take a turn for the worst, or for the better for Tanjiro. Muzan attacks the Ubayashiki estate, and now the final battle begins. As the mansion explodes, and all Demon Slayers and Hashiras run to the location, they find Muzan and Tamayo in a desperate struggle. Tanjiro discovers Muzan's scent, and immediately goes there and sees him. With a burning desire to avenge Nezuko and his family, what can Tanjiro do in this situation? Well, like any other crazed, revenge-hungry MC, he charges directly at Muzan, not noticing the other Hashiras already fighting him. But Tanjiro and the other Hashiras don't succeed as they all fall down into the Infinity Castle while Tanjiro curses Muzan for everything. As they fall into the Infinity Castle, it's mostly all the same again. Shinobu dies, Kanao and Inosuke kill Doma, Muichiro and the others fight Kokushibo, Zenitsu one-shots Kaigaku, and Obanai and Mitsuri meet Nakim. But we haven't mentioned Tanjiro yet, right? Well, Tanjiro and Giyu meet Akaza, but this time, not only does he hate Akaza because of Rengoku's death, but he also hates every demon at this point, and lost that iconic innocence and gentleness he had before Nezuko died. Right now, all he can think of is how to get to Muzan and get rid of every demon that stands in his way. Tanjiro and Giyu duke it out with Akaza, and after having a flashback of Yoriichi Tsugikuni performing all the forms of sun-breathing, Tanjiro unlocks it in advance. He no longer uses Hinokami Kagura, but can now fully utilize the power of sun-breathing. What does this mean moving forward? Well, first off, Tanjiro is much stronger than ever, and his fight against Akaza might become easier than in the original timeline. Surprisingly, Tanjiro also manages to hide his anger and rage using the selfless state. As he accesses the transparent world and combines it with every ability he has unlocked so far, he manages to decapitate Akaza by hiding his battle spirit. Take note that Akaza's compass needle allows him to sense the battle spirit of his opponents, but since Tanjiro has none, he easily slipped through Akaza's defenses and beheaded him. But did Akaza go down? Luckily, he eventually does. Akaza has one of the most heartbreaking backstories in all of Demon Slayer. However, this time, Tanjiro feels a sickening happiness because he finally got revenge for Rengoku, and now, it's only Muzan left. The final battle rages on, and all the upper moons have been defeated. Kokushibo disintegrates, but Genya Shinazugawa and Muichiro Tokito sacrifice their lives as a result. Hearing that Genya and Muichiro have been killed, Tanjiro begins to cry, and his rage keeps growing as more and more people close to him lose their lives because of Muzan's demons. Tanjiro meets Muzan, and what could possibly happen now that the two who hate each other so much meet eye to eye? Well, Muzan begins to insult Tanjiro, saying that he has nothing left and that Nezuko turned into a pile of dust. This causes Tanjiro to madly charge at him. Muzan would have ended the story right here and now if it wasn't for Giyu saving Tanjiro at the last minute. The other Hashiras arrive and the final battle reaches its last stages. In a fit of rage, Tanjiro throws a broken sword straight into Muzan's head, which by the way happened in the original series, as Yushiro takes control of the Infinity Castle and they are all brought up to the surface. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe, smash the like button, and click the notification bell for more videos like this one. Back to the video, all the Hashiras fight off Muzan in a desperate attempt to keep him busy so that the sun can kill him. But is their firepower enough to stop him? Well, they unlock the bright red Nichiren blades and their Demon Slayer marks as the battle rages on. Tanjiro gets injected with Muzan's poison and gets knocked out, but luckily gets treated with an antidote made by Tamayo. Everyone is on their last legs, and Muzan was just about to end Kanao, but Tanjiro arrives and cuts off Muzan's arm and it doesn't regenerate immediately. Tanjiro's face is covered with wounds and his left eye is infected. Muzan is reminded of Yoriichi, and Tanjiro challenges him to a finishing duel. Tanjiro is badly injured and just recently regained his consciousness, so will he be able to beat Muzan? Well, Tanjiro engages Muzan in a 1v1 trying to connect all the forms of sun breathing. Muzan gets even angrier as Tanjiro resembles Yoriichi more and more. There are only 35 minutes left till dawn, and Muzan discovers that Tamayo's poison has aged him to around 9,000 years old, and he is unable to split into tiny pieces like what he did to escape Yoriichi, because the medicine would begin to destroy his cells if the other effects weakened him. In the fight, Tanjiro loses an arm, and everyone else does their best to stop Muzan from escaping. Luckily, Muzan begins to disintegrate. But is this the end? Well, everything seems safe, and few of the Hashiras pass away. Tanjiro is lifeless and on his knees with a missing arm but a satisfying smile as he finally had his revenge. But suddenly, Muzan gives all his blood to Tanjiro and you know who is born. This is the moment every fan has been waiting for. Demon King Tanjiro is here and he's the first ever demon to conquer the sun, the strongest being in existence. The others try to stop him, but they don't have the resolve to kill him. But this time, Nezuko isn't there to hold Tanjiro off, and whips from all around his back start to rise. So will they be successful in turning him back into a human? Well, going all out, he manages to kill Giyu as he tries to protect Inosuke and Zenitsu. Kanao tries her best to inject the medicine to turn him back, but fails as Tanjiro has now gotten used to his demonic form, and she's slashed in half by his whips. All hope is now lost, and Tanjiro proceeds to decimate everything and kill everyone, including his friends. He ushers in a new age of demons, and now the Demon Slayer Corps has been reduced to nothing. Comment down what you think would happen if Nezuko died after being exposed to the sun. Thanks for watching.